Hello, this is Mrs. Peffer. I thought today we would try something a little bit different for our Read Aloud and do a pop-up book. And this one is called One Red Dot, a pop-up book for children of all ages by David A. Carter. One perplexing puzzle box and one red dot. And pop-ups are so cool, especially ones that come out of books because they fold out. And here's the red dot right there. It's kind of a search and find on each page. Two twisting twirlygigs and one red dot. And the red dot here is part of the twisting action up in the top. Three burning baskets and one red dot. And the red dot is a cutout right here. Four flip-flop flaps and one red dot. So with this one, you pull the flap and there's the hidden dot right there. Five wiggle wobble widgets and one red dot. So here they move on like a little track. And the red dot's right in the center. It's a little plastic circle. Six fluttering flicker clickers and one red dot. And the red dot's right up here. Seven bouncing blue spots and one red dot. And the red dot is right here on the blue flap. Eight obedient orbs and one red dot. And you can see the red dot up at the top. Nine nimble nines and one red dot. This one I think is my favorite with the tree, and there's the hidden dot. 10 coiling curlicues and one red dot. And the dot, oh, it's hidden on the back of that black spiral. And that's the end. Awesome. See you guys next time. Hi, this is Mrs. Peffer, and I thought this week we would try something different. And I thought we would try some origami. And origami is actually a Japanese word for paper folding. Ori is a verb and it means to fold, and gami is a noun which means paper. And paper folding dates back over 1,000 years to parts of Europe and China. Buddhist monks carried paper from China by way of Korea into Japan, and paper was very precious and expensive. And so it was not used very often. Even artists like Leonardo da Vinci used some paper folding in his studies, and Lewis Carroll, who was a mathematician and author of Alice in Wonderland, also was well known for his paper folding. So I'm going to show you probably 5 different ways to fold paper. You can also buy origami paper in a kit, and usually it comes with instructions that look kind of like this. And you have to follow along and fold your paper in different ways, mostly using geometric shapes. But there's no cutting involved when you actually start doing the folding. Some origami paper is really fancy, and it's made out of rice, and it can be very colorful. It's usually patterned on one side and white on the other. But for us today, I thought we would just use white copy paper. So if you're going to do the 5 different folds with me, you'll need 5 pieces of copy paper. You will need scissors or a parent to help you cut your papers into squares, but I'm going to show you how to do that as well. You will also need a pen, like I have a black Sharpie, and or a pencil. And then if you want to color your creations when you're done, since we're just using white paper, you can use markers or colored pencils or crayons, really anything that you have, okay? So most origami uses a square, okay? But for this first one, I'm gonna show you a rectangular fold, okay? So here's my paper right here, and this paper right now is vertical, so it's going tall up and down, okay? So what I'm gonna do first is fold from the top, and I'm gonna go all the way down to the bottom, and it needs to be even, especially with origami. So you don't wanna have these uneven folds here. You wanna match up your corners and your edges, and then I like to hold that open section and then use my hand to fold the crease, okay? So I just folded my rectangle in half and it's made another rectangle, okay? So the second step is folding the outer corners to the center line. So I'm gonna go to this top corner right here, and I'm gonna take it and fold it, and I'm using this other hand to help me kind of fold, and I'm gonna bring it all the way down, well, not all the way down, but so that there's a triangle here, and then you're actually seeing a strip of paper down here. So I'm gonna do the same thing to each side. And I want to try to get it as even as possible. So you might need to adjust that second side, just like this. Okay, so when you're looking at this fold, you have two triangles here, and then you have a rectangle going along the bottom here, okay? And then what we're gonna do is fold the bottom rectangle right here over the triangles, okay? So I'm just taking, there's actually two pieces of paper here. I'm just taking the top part with my thumbs, and I'm using my other fingers to hold down those triangles, and I'm gonna fold it up to the top like this, and then I'm gonna turn it over and fold it here. And then you can think, well, what did we make? So what do you think we made? What does it look like? I think it looks like a little hat. And if you wanted to make one that would actually fit your head, you could use newspaper. It's the same folds, it's just starting with a rectangle. I like to use it as kind of a container, so kind of like a little cup, and then whatever origamis that I make, I'm just gonna put them right in here. So they're all in here. But you could also decorate this, you could put your name on it, you can draw designs on it. It could be a doll hat or a stuffed animal hat. But anyway, that one's really easy, okay? And feel free to pause the video at any time and go back, okay? So the next origami has to be a square. And if you're using copy paper, it's going to be a rectangle. So one easy way to make it into a square is to take one of the corners, so I'm using the bottom right-hand corner, and I'm gonna bring it all the way up to the top, and I wanna get it as even as possible, okay, right flush along that edge, and then I hold it down and I crease the bottom. So you'll see a triangle here, and then there's actually a rectangle right here, and that's what you're gonna use your scissors for. Unless your parents wanna cut these ahead of time. And you can actually save this little rectangle, and this could make a fun bookmark. Okay, that's actually a really good size for that. All right, so when I open it up, I have a square, right? Which was actually made with two triangles. All right, so what I'm gonna do is orient my paper so that it looks like a diamond, okay? So I have a point at the top, a point at the bottom, and 2 points at the sides. I'm gonna fold the left point over to meet the right point. And actually, because I just made this a square, it's naturally gonna go that way, okay? So it's just like this. And then I'm gonna unfold it, and you can see this center crease right here, and it's running vertically. And this is also called the line of symmetry. It's dividing my paper in half. Both sides are a mirror image of each other. So here's a triangle here, here's a triangle here. And in origami, a lot of folds are symmetrical. So whatever you do to one side, often you do to the other, okay? So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this side, so my right bottom side, of this triangle, and I'm going to pick it up right here on the corner, and I'm going to fold it right along that line of symmetry. So it should be flush right along here, and it actually creates another triangle right here, okay? And then I'm going to do the same thing to the other side. So I take the left point. I don't want it to overlap. I want it to run right alongside that first triangle, okay? And just get it as even as you can. But it should be a nice crease, okay? So now I have two big triangles here and then another triangle up at the top. It looks kind of like an ice cream cone. Okay, so now I'm gonna go to the very top point and I'm gonna bring that down just to where it meets my other triangles right here. And now I think it looks kind of like a cobra head, like a snake's head, or a diamond. Looks kind of like a big diamond shape, okay? Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it sideways and I'm going to fold it in half right along that original line of symmetry. So I'm just bringing those two sides together, okay? So you get this shape right here. And then I'm going to turn it so that it can stand up, kind of like that. So the opening is at the bottom, all right? I'm going to keep it folded for this last step. And the very skinny tail end here, I'm going to fold up like this. Okay, and then I can stand it up kind of like this. So what do you think we have made? That's right, it's a whale. So you can use your marker or a crayon or a pencil. And I'm going to make an eyeball on one side, and I'm going to make a mouth. You can even make a little spout, because whales have spouts. You can turn it over and do the same thing to the other side. Here's his little whale spout. Okay, that's pretty cool. And if I was gonna color it, I'd probably color it gray or blue or something like that. And I can take my little whale and I can put it inside my hat. All right, if you're still with me, we are gonna move on to a third origami, and we need to make our square again, if you don't already have it, okay? So I'm gonna take my bottom corner and I'm gonna bring it all the way along to the top so that it's flush, just like this. Okay, so I have my triangle, and then I have this rectangle that I'm going to cut off right here. And again, that could be a bookmark, just like that. And then when I open it up, I have a square, okay? So for this origami, again, I'm going to turn it like a diamond. So my point is up at the top. And what I'm going to do first is I'm going to take that top point and fold it all the way down to the bottom. Make sure it's even, and then crease it. So now it looks like a triangle. So the big flat edges at the top, and then two diagonal lines on the sides, okay? Then I'm gonna go back up to one of the corners, and I'm gonna fold, take this all the way down to the bottom point, just like this. So I've folded that triangle down, and I made a smaller triangle, and I'm gonna do the same thing to the other side. Okay, so I have these two flaps right here. So now I have two smaller triangles and it's still a square, okay? But right here I can see the crease between those two triangles, all right? So now I'm gonna take one of these little flaps at the bottom and I'm gonna fold it up probably 2/3 of the way. So not all the way up because it would undo, and not just a tiny bit. I want this triangle to be poking out above the top, kind of like this, okay? So it looks like a little ear, all right? I'm gonna do the same thing to the other side. So I'm gonna take the bottom, I'm gonna fold it up to the top so there's another ear, all right? Just like that. And then at the very bottom, actually I'm gonna flip it over. You could do it either way, but now it looks like my ears are right back there. Right here at the bottom, I'm gonna take the little point and I'm just gonna fold the top point up. And I don't know if you can see that, but it looks like a little mouth. And I could even put my finger in it, okay? So what do you think we've made here? Good guess, it's a wolf. It's a wolf's head, it's not the whole body. So again, you can take your pencil or crayon or marker, and I'm gonna make two eyes. And I'm gonna make a little nose. And then this could be my mouth right here. I could even make like a little tongue. And then these could be the ears. And maybe there's some little tufts of hair in the ears. And then you could color it, okay? All right, so then I'm gonna take my wolf. I'm gonna put it inside my little hat, okay, which is like a pocket, and I'm gonna set that aside. All right, let's do another one. I'm gonna take my rectangle. I'm gonna fold the bottom corner up to make it into a square. And then I'm gonna cut off this rectangle. And set that aside, and I'm gonna open it up. All right, we're gonna start with this one like a diamond, okay? So my point is up at the top. So for this, what I'm gonna do is fold the left point over to meet the right point. Oh, and we already did that because we made it a square. And then I'm gonna open it up so I can see this vertical line of symmetry, okay, where the fold is. Then I'm gonna take the top point and I'm gonna fold it down to the bottom point. So I'm folding my kind of diamond in half, and I'm making a triangle, okay? Then at the bottom where it's open, I'm just gonna take the top piece and I'm gonna fold it up once. So it makes a little tiny triangle here. It looks like that little mouth like we just did, okay, with the wolf. But then I'm gonna take it, so I'm picking it up. I can see the bottom piece is still there. And I'm gonna fold it up one more time. So the bottom actually looks like a triangle, but the top part looks like a trapezoid, which is like a triangle with the top cut off. And a lot of tables at school are in the shape of a trapezoid, okay? So I'm gonna fold that up and leave that. Then I'm gonna go to this point right here, and I'm gonna fold it down, and I want it to hang over a little bit. It's an ear, okay? So I don't want it to be flush or even, and I don't want it to be too short. So I'm holding it down with one hand, and I'm gonna bring it down. It's not quite touching this mouth or trapezoid, okay? But I can see the triangle hanging down just a little bit right here. And then I'm gonna crease it. I'm gonna do the same thing to the other side, okay? Bring it down just a little bit, like so, okay? So it looks like I have two floppy triangle ears hanging down. Then I'm gonna go and I'm gonna fold this floppy ear back up so it's sticking up, okay? Same thing on the other side. Get it as even as you can. It's okay if it's not perfect, okay? And then the very last step is taking this little triangle that's sticking out, and I'm gonna fold it up just enough to tuck under the top trapezoid. So it looks again like another mouth, okay? And what do you think we've made? Anybody want to guess? It's a pig. It's a pig's head. So I'm gonna make little eyes, little tiny dots for eyes. You can make them however you want. And I'm gonna put little curved lines around them. And then on this trapezoid, I'm gonna make two little nostril dots, just like so. And then there's my pig. And if I was going to color it, I'd probably color it pink, okay? Because lots of pigs are pink. Although, they can be white or brown or spotted, or you can have an imaginary pig. So I'm gonna take my pig and I'm gonna put him right in my hat. And if you're ready, we're gonna do one more origami. This one I would consider a challenge. So if you wanna challenge yourself, you can do this one with me. If you don't, that's okay, all right? You can even try making your own origamis. All right, so I also need to have a square, all right? Yeah, I'm gonna fold this one up so it's flush along the top. I'm gonna cut off my rectangle. And I'm gonna open it up. So I have a square, okay? And a square has 4 sides that are all the same, okay? So what I'm gonna do is fold the bottom edge up to the top edge. So I'm making a rectangle. And I want it to be even, and then I crease it, okay? And then I'm gonna unfold it, okay? And then I'm gonna fold the left side to meet the right side. I wanna get it even and crease, okay? And then I'm gonna open it up. Now, if you made a square, excuse me, from your rectangle, you're gonna see a bunch of triangles here, or here. 2 triangles here, 2 squares here, and that's fine, okay? So what you're gonna do is work on each square on its own. So this big square is now divided into 1, 2, 3, 4 squares. So I'm gonna go to 1 square down here at the bottom, and I'm gonna take this outside point, and I'm gonna fold it to the center point, just like this, okay? So now I've made it a triangle. I'm gonna do the same thing to each side. And I don't wanna overlap. I wanna bring it right to the center point, like so. I'm gonna do it 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. That looks kind of like an envelope. All right. So now I have a square, but it's divided into 4 triangles, okay? And I'm gonna turn it like a diamond, okay? So my point is up at the top. I'm gonna turn it over. So on this side, I cannot see my individual triangles. I can just see a square, or actually a diamond, okay? So from here, what I'm gonna do is take each corner and fold it to that midpoint, okay? I'm gonna take it, fold it, crease it, and repeat it in each corner. Try not to overlap, and 4. Mine's not absolutely perfectly folded, but that's okay. So on this side, I can see I can see a square, I can see a big triangle, and then actually I can see these little triangles that were from the other side that I have now folded up, okay? So now I'm gonna turn it over again. So this side, I'm looking at a big square, okay? But then I'm also looking at 4 small squares, okay? And what I'm gonna do here is fold the center point to the outside point, okay? So nothing is hanging out over the edge here. Just folding it here into a triangle, and I'm gonna do the same thing to each side. Here's my 3rd corner and my 4th corner, okay? So here I can see a big diamond and then 4 triangles in the corners. And then this back part is actually 4 triangles. And these are actually stands, okay? So I'm gonna stand mine up kind of like this. Can anybody tell me what we've made? Anybody wanna guess? It's a picture frame. So you can actually take a picture, which could be the same size or a little bit smaller than this square. You could draw a picture, maybe you could find a photograph, and you can slip it in under these little corners. And then you can stand it up, depending on which way you want it. I'm just gonna pull out this little triangle so it can stand up on a table and you have a picture frame, okay? And this one I would decorate. You don't have to worry about decorating the back, but I would decorate these corners that are gonna show, okay? And then you can have your nice picture here in the middle, and that looks great. You could even make this for Mother's Day or Father's Day. I think they would love that, okay? And then, hey, you have your bookmarks that you can make as well, okay? So hopefully you've enjoyed the origami. I know there's lots of videos on YouTube and different things that you could watch, so make sure you check with a parent, but that could be really fun if you're into origami. So I'm gonna put my picture frame in my little hat, and then I'm ready to go. So thank you very much. Bye.